Abusia entia eba betodwa ene se nipa numa womo ekọ se yento om so aba na yin ba ko enye NPP amyokonu efranka tuni afimpinu ene adunu wotwe no. Abusia ntia yate ne se ba kubi wo ye edi disqualify wo ba beka ewo ya obedi block na se ewo be block wo be kwa akoto baby kura ne ade ntia betodwa ne se wo mu ba ku eye edi disqualify ya wo mu ba ko no yewura Canada akompre ko Japan enka ho ba omie enka ho sa enso na Brian Champion wono nso enka ho na yewura osaye edutwum wono nso enka ho na ndi wonka ho de na se yewura kobra Agyapong wo ye edi disqualify wo ye ama enoma bi a disqualify na wonim se ya mebo china na NPP amayukonu ekwa akoto wo mo anaso wo mo kwa akoye ballot na obi ehunu bibi obi abeda ene ade na ebusua wo mo ama papa 48 hours say won fa improve wo mo wrong isan say one ha sa 4.6 million a wo mo etui na wonye bi entua eno ntino wo mo ebe disqualify no so far enti aba betodwa eno no bisua yenkonkotie mu nchirim kakra emra eba beto so
Ricky story and the catch them say a year company Japan are all press over to Frank Adiama NPP no or ma disqualify no because a year 4.6 million development fee we shall for with Jimin Chiaka. It's the vetting committee has recommended say yen disqualify no and the National Council the NEC almost wajiatum and then they have communicated to him say they have given him 48 hours to mobilize the funds, so that is the only window of opportunity or war. After 48 hours expiration, Agyapong will not be on the ballot paper and that mark January 31. It's not pay former General Secretary of the NPP, Agyapong, for our contested presidential candidate. But this time, Onyasa Kuyanon contested, basically because he was unable to pay the 4.6 million development fee. It's a disqualifier. He has between and there any close of day tomorrow 48 hours to mobilize the funds. Now, so to me, yes, a party paid for Edna Dean a sign back a year less than now 5 years can't want some gradually about than the 4. So the 4 are my film. Dr. Mahmoud Bamia, Kennedy Agyapong, Brian Champion, Dr. Brian Champion, and Dr. Yao said the chum. But Agyapong, the which are for Mano Kasaidia, you're disqualified, from the race until said. Here's the caveat until said. Obviously, mobilizes our 4.6 million development fee, on Timmy and contested in this election. That is the information. We've been trying to reach him before the doom. But I don't pay you hear it for the first time. Or a party we say you disqualify a year Agyapong, former General Secretary of the NPP, not so to Franca and the party. Begin at the Kwesi Parker Wilson.
There's a little insight into my vision, and I believe that it's important to create wealth in this country. To do so, you need to set up a good initiative, especially for the lands of Ghanaians who have been robbed in the past of their own entitlement. So I'm going to put together a proper initiative to ensure that, one, most lands are titled, because when lands are titled, it gives an opportunity for the owners of the land to be able to unlock capital. And that can help them to open up their farms, to do business, to have access to quality education and quality health. And I think it's very important, and it will also protect, the real ancestral owners of our lands. We won't have a situation where the resources that Lord Almighty has bestowed on us will be appropriated without proper compensation, especially to foreign interests. And that's something that I'm very passionate about. And so those are the few things I wanted to say today, that we need to restore this country. And those values, what I talk about, the triple S doctrine, service, sacrifice, and selflessness. Now we also have to restore meritocracy, professionalism, back to the workplace, and reduce the overly politicized nature of society. I mean, Ghana has become too stridently divided. And I think we have to look at the national interest, things that would help this country grow. That's what I'm passionate about. So,
beyond this internal contest, or after the internal contest, the NPP will continue to be there. One of the key things that were raised post the NPP's defeat was that the internal wranglings, your opponents ended up using
what is important is that you have to listen to my message. Everybody knows that I have a record of diplomatic speak. I'm not one who is given to effusions. I don't do that. I have strong emotional intelligence. I have led with integrity. Everybody knows my record in public service, serving as press secretary to President Kufuor. So if you are talking about myself, I'm not here to speak for others or speak about others. But anytime I've launched my campaign, it's about issues. And I'm calling all my other competitors. Let's have a proper debate. Let's elevate the discourse. You know, that's what is important. The Ghanaian people, they deserve to know our views on major national issues. The party delegates deserve to know. So this is not a popularity contest. You understand? So they need to test our views on major issues. And I think that if they submit themselves to a debate, that will be very good for all of us. And it will change the atmosphere that seems a bit poisoned now, you know, and so that we can restore ourselves to proper democracy, a democracy that will let the younger generation feel attracted to it. You know, that's what we should be doing. So I'm not one who's going to muddy the waters or poison the atmosphere, but of course, once in a while, when there are historical facts that are being distorted, it's my duty to correct them, especially as a former general secretary. I see myself as a custodian of the history and the tradition of this party. And fortunately, I would say, in all humility, I was the only one amongst all of us who was there in 1992 campaigning for Professor Dubois. So I have that institutional memory of this political tradition, and I'll live or die by it. Principles and virtues should rule, not money.
You've been here a few times. If I say you've been here, I mean contested. How different is this from the previous times that you've battled it out?
The most important thing is the power of choice rests with the delegates. That's the beauty of democracy. It doesn't rest with us. Ours is to go and meet them and share our vision, which is what I try to do this afternoon. So the power of choice rests with the delegates. I am providing them a viable option. I mean, all my colleagues were part of the previous government. Unfortunately, I wasn't. So I think if you want a stark departure from the past, something that is a new era, a new dimension, a new vision, then you look at Governor Agyapong. So I think every political party should have alternatives, and I'm a viable option.
Okay. When is someone to Todja a Wabe Fontinta, Vidication Swa, a Euro Governor Agyapong, Casakurano, at to Nenumutu, what less or children say much less. Ebera Wamudia man and Yansun, and Tin and China and Subsia, Yawa train, we are train, Sabia Yamibuatina, and then they umri, and what this Sassicano at the Bequa. Yawa train, or ye train, Sabia, Ebe Kamakama. Edi amman wentimi nso anase obi na commentary ebuesiako ene wodin ti eje achiraman aha solid tv medi edi odiman ko ba na kofi makra